Hey, this is Huckleberry, and you're listening to the Unbelievers podcast.
I break the curse. Break the curse.
Do you know a man died in prison for discussing this?
We don't know.
Is this a real show?
You may be the only person in the world who doesn't know that.
Hell yeah, man. Bushman. Right.
There will be more on Rocks.
Ghosts, ghouls, werewolves, witches, vampires, creatures of the night, whatever.
All here on the program where you continue to learn to unlearn everything you know. Hello, and welcome to the Unbelievers podcast. I'm Russ Ryan, and joining me this evening is first-time co-host Tyler Ventura. Hello, Tyler.
Hey, Russ. God, thanks for having me on. I'm so pumped.
I am excited to have you on, especially for this time, for this topic. And apologies, I just went kind of a week late. I've been on a bit of a Mardi Gras hiatus in life, so that kind of happens. But we're right back in with it, with something actually lining up with St. Patrick's Day, but not even in an intentional way. I'm apologizing. It seems I know occasionally we do holiday themed episodes. This is it. This is our St. Patrick's Day episode, and Tyler, man, your first time on. I think you've been on to play games before, but you've never proper co-hosted.
No, this is such an honor, and it's wild, and I'm very thankful to be here, especially for this episode and this topic. It's stuff I'm totally into.
No, and that is, you are here because you have a very specific set of skills or knowledge or whatever you want to call it that we're going to get into it tonight. So let's do it. We're talking right in time for St. Patrick's Day. It's haunted Scotland.
Oh, you can't shove your granny up the bus. Up the bus! Oh, you can't shove your granny up the bus. Oh, you can't shove your granny, for she's your mammy's mammy. Oh, you can't shove your granny up the bus. I sing you now, well, you will, so will I. So will I.
Okay, it's a Scottish song. You can't throw your granny off the bus. I tried to find things related to ghosts and another thing we'll be talking about tonight, fairies. But I don't know, nothing was as good as that. But yes, here we go, lads and lassies. That is a good kickoff to this incredible episode that's about to go down. Tonight, we'll be discussing a topic that we've covered quite a few times over the years, a televised ghost hunting team. And while this subject comes up occasionally or a lot, shows like Ghost Adventures and whatever Jack Osborne might be working on, it isn't one of our biggest focuses. And why is it not a big focus? Well, because a majority of the shows in this genre are very, very boring, formulaic, and usually have a crew of just the most uncharismatic people you can find. The few exceptions, of course, being like Zach Baggins, Chip Coffey, Kesha. Who's some other exceptions?
Our guy Aaron?
Yeah, so you want to bring him up? Yeah, I don't know if this is... Got it. I guess if we're going to, might as well get it out right away. Yeah, a little brief unbeliever news we can cover real quick. But this is, we are living in a world now where Aaron of Ghost Adventures, his wife is accused of setting a hitman to kill him. She was paying a prisoner money to contact another guy and giving the guy the shooting locations of Ghost Adventures. I mean, yes, a very insane story in the paranormal.
It's absolutely wild. And that just I'd rather do this than get divorced. I'd rather just pay a prisoner to kill him.
And it wasn't even a lot that they were talking about either to pay. I would be more insulted about that if I was Aaron. I was like, that's all I'm worth. I'm on TV. I'm like the guy. And of course, he's always been a very, sympathetic character already. And everyone's just waiting. How are they going to cash in on this? Should we just leave him alone? Or Zach Baggins just can't wait to get his ghostly spirits into it?
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. It has to be.
Yeah. That's a break. There's not much else to talk about. That it happened. There's I'll keep up with it. If something new breaks, we'll follow this story as long as we have to. But for tonight, For tonight, we're getting into something different. Again, because I was actually pleasantly surprised when I finally checked out the show for tonight. The show called Haunted Scotland, a.k.a. Spooked Scotland. And shout out to Unbelievers Steven for the heads up on this one. I wasn't sure about it when he first suggested it because it kind of sounded like a lot of the other shows. But wow, look, I have almost given up on this genre of TV ghost chasing. But now we are back in all because of this amazing show. So let's get into it with the official description of Haunted Scotland. Renowned American medium Chris Fleming and Scotland's Gail Porter lead an expert paranormal team to investigate the chilling crimes, supernatural sightings, and terrifying stories across one of the most haunted countries on Earth. Fact, Scotland. I should have played the fact sound. This is very factual that Scotland is the most haunted. And I must be out of it or something because the name Chris Fleming didn't mean anything to me. And he's touted as this big American medium. Have you ever heard of Chris Fleming?
I can't say I have, Russ.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he must have done something great in the paranormal at some point. I couldn't recognize him before watching this. And the same goes for the other person on this, a woman named Gail Porter. But I just have to assume she is huge in Scotland because she is a Scottish woman and maybe we've just been missing out. So let's hear a bit of the intro and get a feel for what we are in store with Haunted/Spooked Scotland.
Scotland, an ancient hotspot for the supernatural, and now experiencing more spooky activity than ever before.
Whoa! No. A banshee! That was a big shadow.
I'm Gail Porter. Growing up here, I've always been fascinated and terrified by unexplained paranormal activity.
Oh my God, what if something's down here and we have to get up quick? What was I thinking of? Ah!
I'm spiritual medium Chris Fleming. I've dedicated my life to pursuing the world's most extreme hauntings.
This is what I live for.
Yes! Oh! Yes!
Scotland is the ghost hunter's holy grail. So when Gail asked me to join her, it was a dream come true. How could I refuse? An invitation to investigate possibly one of the most actively haunted places on Earth.
Together, we're determined to solve the biggest mysteries plaguing modern Scotland.
Again!
With exclusive access to the nation's spookiest locations.
Dark places where paranormal investigators have never been allowed to shine a light. Until now.
Oh shit. What the that? That came from up here.
Oh, holy shit is right. This is a TV ghost show that does not bleep the cussing. You know, we're so used to those long strings of bleeped out words and then like to actually hear shit in the intro of the show. That was like jarring to me.
That's true. I guess I didn't really think about it. This is on Discovery though, right? Are they allowed to swear on there?
Yeah, I guess so. But I think it's just a British show. Maybe it's just produced by the BBC or something instead. Where they don't care here. There was no attempt to bleep anything, which I'm fine with, you know. And that introduction was informative, but for Gail Porter, not at all. You're like, I'm Chris Fleming. I do all this stuff. I've been hunting this stuff my whole life. She's like, I'm Gail Porter. I gotta like this stuff. Anyway, we're here, and yes, you described Gail Porter as looking like, you know, she is a Scottish woman.
Sinead O'Connor, yeah, 100%. Or who's the girl that played evil Professor X's sister in Deadpool Wolverine?
Oh yeah, she's always.
Her too.
So yes, Gail Porter is a bald woman, a Scottish bald woman, and I guess she's got no expertise or anything, but. She's the only person in Scotland who cares about ghosts and ghouls. That can't be right. She did get this show, but it's not just Chris and Gail in this adventure. No, they got a team. They've got 2 members of the Paranormal Elite, they call them. I don't know if that's an official group. They have tech specialist Ryan O'Neill and parapsychologist Dr. Evelyn Hollow. And together, this team is given free reign to do anything they want, go anywhere they feel to figure out why Scotland is just spiking with paranormal happenings. And their first stop in this first episode is the ancient and mystical Isle of Arran to investigate Brodick Castle. So this is Scotland and as spooky as you get. Happy St. Patrick's Day again. So here's Gail and Chris heading up there, riding on a boat to this island while explaining this castle.
Brodick Castle has got a terrifying history of suicide and murder, and there's loads of reports of
really awful paranormal activity.
Wow, from what I've heard, there's a theory that Arran has a lot of mythical creatures like goblins, imps, and fairies.
Yeah, definitely.
From a paranormal point of view, I find that really interesting because I've always loved elementals, so this is going to be fascinating.
It's going to be interesting, but it's also going to be very dangerous because apparently they're very vindictive if you don't show them any respect.
Well, then that means we need to be on our best behavior.
So it's just a natural conversation there. And I'm used to these shows doing this same scene inside of a big truck with 6 people in it. These two on a boat with a very vast, body of water. It was like a nice change of pace, but like it felt a little acted though, right? I
think this is a higher class of show already, just from the beginning.
Oh yeah, and this guy, you can tell where this is a ghost show, and he's the only American. The first thing he says,
I've always loved elementals, so this is going to be fascinating.
She's like, yes, we said it was haunted. Okay.
Me too, Chris.
Exactly. This is you on a boat going over here. And they're like, but it's not something we see a lot of ghost hunting, but this is Scotland. They're going to a castle. It's basically, this is like Fantasy Island, and this Chris Fleming guy is like, I'm sure it's crawling with all form of creature. Like, so they arrive at the castle and they claim it as their own because they're just given rights to do anything. And before they split off into 2 gender-specific groups with Gail and Dr. Evelyn, they go check on one side of the castle while Chris and Ryan O'Neill, not the guy from Barry Lyndon, go a different way into the kitchen. And this is when I realized watching this that they were just walking. This is like a castle museum. Like it's very set up. There's signs on a wall like this way. They weren't like... This isn't like untrodden ground that they're making this in. So this is very much a tourist thing. And but on the lady side of the investigation, in this opening scene, not that exciting, but Chris Fleming, he goes right into this fake kitchen set, and this show comes to life.
Oh man, look at this. We got like a kitchen, huh? Well, this is obviously all fake stuff, right? Yeah.
It's a plastic pie.
Woman right up here.
Okay.
Presence of a woman right now. Standing right there. Dark brown hair. Hair is up. Yeah. Well, it'd be good if I walk up to where she was. I saw the woman just standing right here like this, just looking right at us. And then she turned and then just glided right through this door. It would be good tonight if we try to see if we can come in further contact with this female spirit.
Yeah, find out who she is, why she's here, what she's doing.
Right, because if she's the first person to show herself to us, she may speak to us later.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, he's like a ghost pest immediately. He's like, there's a female ghost. Like, this is why people needed Beetlejuice. But, great hit, though. This, I didn't know my mediums were this super strong. It's like, immediately, girl, hair, right over there,
God, it reminds me of that clip of those German guys. Remember the very spicy? They were describing, like, the female ghost that they saw that was naked. Do you remember that? That's an old clip. I know it exists somewhere.
I'll have to find that one. But
yeah.
I like this. This part, totally out of context. This might stick, though. It's pretty spot on for our content.
Well, this is obviously all fake stuff, right?
It's like, yeah. Like anything you do, I might just...
Well, this is obviously all fake stuff, right?
So some very quick medium being done there, but a lady ghost in a castle. It's pretty run-of-the-mill paranormal show so far. And I think they need something more, a little make this stand out. At least I think Chris does. And we get it here when Chris and Ryan head outside, and Ryan, in a cool accent, tells us this.
So this here is the fairy wood.
Okay.
It'd be really interesting to see what you pick up here on an energetic level as well, because I really do think possibly the land is charged here.
Okay.
You getting drawn to there?
We have someone already.
Right, okay.
There is a presence that is on the opposite side of that tree. Short in stature. Going to. Are you a pixie? What other elementals are in this forest with you?
Are you a pixie?
There.
So it says something like Suic, Selic,
Selic. It's Gaelic for fairy.
The fact they're speaking Irish to me connects, as locals inform me that the Isle of Arran was formerly inhabited by the Irish. See, there's going to be certain words that I am not familiar with, which is why your ear is very important.
Okay, well, how's your ear? Is that what he actually said there? It's allegedly.
That's a very big brain moment.
This is like the speed of this investigation is crazy. They get like so much done immediately. He's like immediately sees a ghost. This is just right outside, and he's like, "His great question," because he's doing EVP already. He goes,
Are you a pixie?
It's like
Pixie off the bat.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like that's what he goes to immediately. It's like it's like leprechaun, like too pedestrian or fairy sound. I'm not gonna ask for a goblin. That's gonna sound ridiculous. I'll say,
Are you a pixie?
Yes, I am a pixie.
I think all investigators should be asking that. This is a ghost hunt. This is the first time I've seen the things blended like that. Would that even be possible? Going before we get too far into this, like, do you feel like elementals and pixies and leprechauns could actually be hunted like ghosts?
So, I mean, I think as far as I understand, it's kind of like the ghost phenomenon, and you're not going to see them in groups necessarily, right? They're going to appear to you kind of when you're on your own. You know what I mean? It's that kind of phenomenon with like ghosts. So I think seeing one off the bat, he's probably fibbing.
Well, what about if you have an entire camera crew with you running around a castle and you're like 2 feet away from it? It's a good time.
100%. I think I don't know, man. I do not think they would be drawn to that vibe.
Yeah. And look, I'll say it now, though. I regret not knowing this Chris Fleming before watching this, because he is top ghost weirdo to me in all the best ways. We aren't even in 10 minutes into this, and he's seen a lady ghost, a pixie, and now this is going to happen immediately after when he films his like private confessional.
Okay, not now. Do this later. I just felt something trying to take me over.
Right, okay.
What was I talking about?
You're going to go and meet the witnesses.
Oh, the castle. Okay.
You okay?
Yeah, I feel peaceful. I'm having a hard time.
He's freaking out, man.
Talking, thinking. Come on. Okay, I can't think right now. No, my head is like... Just give me a second.
Okay.
Give me a second.
So now he's possessed. And are elementals even known to do this kind of weird control over Americans? Can they exert it like this?
So I don't know about over Americans, but there is some lore with elementals being able to interact with humans, and I think not necessarily possession, but kind of mind meld with them. I've heard a few stories of like people mind melding with different elemental forces. Well, your main ones are fire, air, earth, and water. But man, what an evening they're having! Like you said, ghost, pixie, check, possession of something, all within the first like 15 minutes of the show. You can pack up and go home at that point.
Right.
You've done it all.
Time talking, thinking. Come on.
Like I've had that conversation with people without pixies being involved. I don't have come on, let's go. Let's get out of here. Good stuff, Chris. I like this guy. So we get more of Chris in his fairy-possessed fugue state and hear the commentary about it from the guy, because he's also the narrator.
Clear the fairies are already starting to play mind games. I don't fully understand why they are hindering our investigation, but we will get to the bottom of this, no matter how hard they try to stop me. I can't think right now. No, my head is like, what the hell just happened?
Let's go. Okay?
God, no, it's not bad. It's not painful. It's just, something happened. It's almost like missing time.
Yeah.
In the end, I accept defeat here and retreat back to the safety of the castle's keep.
Wow, he's just got mind beat by invisible pixies. And the other people, the Scottish, the rest of this crew, they're all just shaking their head. They're like, ooh, this guy, man.
So he's the only one experiencing the fairy mental beatdown at this point. No one else was experiencing anything weird, it seems, huh?
I feel like everyone else was trying to experience like an actual ghost hunt. Like they thought the rest of the team is ghost hunters. They're parapsychologists, and they're worried about, they're off doing something else that they barely cover at all. But, all right, so look, and after regrouping, he goes back to the castle that they control, and they do a thorough interrogation of one of the castle's tour guides, I'm assuming. And look, this grilling eventually gets to what Chris really only ever cares to want to talk about, the only question worth asking.
Have you ever seen a fairy or an elemental?
Oh gosh, I'm going to sound really crazy, but it's like there's always been a fairy element on the island and different stories, and you feel that they're there. And certainly one of the best places to go and see is the Standing Stones at Mac.
Oh, that's where we are going, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely.
But the fairies are definitely not one to annoy, that's for sure.
We're going to do our best not to annoy them, right?
Yeah.
She's looking at Chris like, right, you are the most annoying American-ass medium we've ever seen in here. You immediately started describing women who are running around to the trees. And but I did like this, because
We're going to do our best not to annoy you, right?
Yeah.
They're not doing a great job.
He's not at all. So, Chris, but this was just like the tour guy kind of telling you all the different stories. He's taking them around the regular castle tour. He's like, in the back here, fairies, this is what we're doing. It's like, yeah, we kind of heard of it. This is Scotland. So, Chris and the elementals aside, there are 3 other Scottish people involved in this show, and they are there to do ghost hunting research things like every show. And here's a fun EVP session that may or may not get hijacked with Pixie questions.
Okay, who is the black shadow that is seen in this area?
Can you tell us your name?
Perfect. Okay, let's try that.
What the hell is that?
Oh my god, I'm spooked. You want to play that again?
Yeah, play it again.
Oh my.
So the thing is with these recordings, there shouldn't be any audio there at all.
And what about elementals? I mean, would they potentially trick and do something like that?
Well, that's the thing. I mean...
It's like, well, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't know. We were talking with the Black Shadow, so this is our regular haunting stuff. Nothing weird, Chris. It's like, no, it can't be. So this is time for a fairy hotspot that they go to, where they meet with a woman named Sheila Gilmore, an island native, and they attempt more now fairy-related EVP sessions, which are amazing. But so after they do this is like a brief thing. Chris and Gail, they reunite with the team to show off these fairy recordings at the castle, and they ask, how many fairies are there? And they have an amazing EVP where a fairy says 7. So that was their big, whoa, it said 7. And it's like, how can this tie into that lady ghost? So like the rest of the team, like, we're talking about ghosts. How can this tie in that ghost from earlier? Oh, don't worry, they will.
Now, did you feel like anything was watching us at all when we were there?
A little bit. Yeah. It was because it was so open. It was quite tricky because we were so out in the open. It was.
What was that?
What the hell was that? Come on, we gotta find this. We just heard a scream, like a woman's scream. Did you hear anybody scream at all?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to think on the fly here. I mean, we were at a place with fairies, all right? I'm wondering if anything about that is disturbing what's here in the castle. Now,
Something's making me very, very nervous already, really quickly.
No, I can see that.
Yes, I see that. I'm very assertive under pressure. He's like really alphaing these Scottish folk. It's like, all right. We're hearing screams. All the normal ghost things are happening. The fairies, though, we have to keep them in mind this entire time. And if you watch this show, this Haunted Scotland, the overlay maps they do, you realize this. They play this almost like it's like a themed escape room, where they like plan out where the activities is happening on a loop, going between rooms of the castle. Castle sounds cool, but when they pull up and show the schematic of this place and like the room layout, it's pretty small. Like this castle, like when you hear castle, this castle is all walls. It's like they made the walls the thickest thing ever, and they're going down these small corridors, and it's like one big room on each side. It's like almost like when you would build just a little Lego castle, but just way too much walls.
It is really funny. So I went to Ireland in 2017 with one of my friends, and we were able to visit a few castles. We were mostly like in the south, but not only obviously people were smaller back then, but they were not as, your typical run-of-the-mill castle. The doorways are small, the stairwells are small, the stairs are all uneven. It's like you feel like it's like, what was this made for, Jawas? Like it's so tiny. But yeah. Also, I'm not the smallest guy too, so.
Well, they also kind of cleverly shoot it, I guess. Well, they don't show maybe like the tinier little room, but it looks so small when they pull them out. I'm like, the castles ain't shit. They're nothing. Right? They're just, the ghosts. You got to get out of there. But so now they're in like full on hunt mode for this scream. And look, I was just gonna skip all of this because there wasn't really any fairies involved. But they whip out some tech we have never talked about. I love talking about different ghost tech. So their plan here is to deploy something called the paranormal puck.
This is the paranormal puck. It does pick up movement and stuff.
You can put it on the floor.
Yeah, it picks up the barometric pressure, a lot of stuff. The paranormal puck is linked to an app on my tablet. This allows for ITC sessions. This means we can ask spirit questions, and responding words will appear on the app. Spirits, can you please tell us who screamed?
Rest. Tie. Crossed.
What?
Loose.
cup,
Rest.
pie.
I keep saying pie and stuff. Well, that was in the kitchen where I was in earlier with Ryan.
Pie?
I wonder if they got anything in there.
They're talking to...
That looks like that's E.T.
Yeah, there's a see and say level ghost talking there. And it's like, what did it say? Pie? He's like, pie, dining room. That pie I saw earlier. Yeah, it's like...
Oh, it totally brings it all together. I don't understand where they're getting the input from.
The puck.
Is it
the
like
puck
a,
is just
a
thrown
spirit?
and randomly in the room.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it looks like a big Beyblade or something. I don't know what to tell you, like how the thing looks. Like it's just a paranormal puck. And he's like, it goes in the app. Yeah, I had to pull some of that great talk they had.
Rest, time, crust, loose, cup,
Rest.
pie.
That's pie. It's like, no, pie was never said. But like this though, because of course when he's introducing it, he's like, "Oh, you're there. Oh, what is this paranormal puck? What's it do?" He's like,
Paramedic pressure, a lot of stuff.
"Sure, it can do a bunch of things." It's like you could just say it goes.
Rest, time.
I don't know how reliable this one is. Let's just say, Russ.
Whoa.
Well, this is obviously all fake stuff, right?
No. So now while that puck is going on, so we got Ryan and Gail and the other lady, and they head into the kitchen. And I haven't talked much about Gail. We mentioned earlier she's the bald woman with the big glasses, but I'll mention Ryan's a bald guy too, but he kind of looks more like Scottish Dave Attell. He is the tech guy in this. It's an odd pairing for sure. And there's a reason Gail is bald. It's a whole medical thing. It doesn't matter.
Great. Now I feel bad, Russ. Thanks.
No. She has tons of British daytime appearances. She talks about it. She gets over it. She gets hair. It's fine. She's great. And they start having some classic clinking and clanking in that fake kitchen. Remember
Well, this is obviously all fake stuff, right?
And while they're in this place, an EVP voice answers their questions, and it's kind of nice, very standard ghost stuff, until they meet back with Chris and Dr. Evelyn Hallow, who has some recordings of their own.
Hey.
Hello.
How'd you get on?
Interesting.
Yeah?
I've started to examine my findings that I collected with Evelyn in the dining room. We might have just uncovered the proof we need.
Listen to the voice.
Like cooking coming from our room. Okay.
Did you hear that?
Okay.
What is that? I don't want to do that.
That is an elemental voice, very similar to voices I've captured of imps, pixies, and stuff like that. So you know what we need to do?
No.
Is we need to go outside where we were earlier today, Ryan,
forest?
and continue that investigation in the forest, see if we can come in contact with these elementals.
Okay.
Oh, back outside, ladies. If you thought we were going to just snoop around inside this warm castle in Scotland, I'll stop you right there. The fairies are outside. So, wow, what a convincing argument. Now, have you ever heard such a thing? Is there such a thing as imp and pixie and brownie recordings? And how would you know the difference?
That's exactly my question. It doesn't seem to have enough delineation. These are all very, separate things in folklore, and it kind of every little bump in the night he's kind of attributing to these things. But to be fair, back in the day, things like fairy was a very broad term. Same with like goblin. Goblin magic meant anything that was cursed or like bad luck. So on the one hand, yeah, maybe it's just a big amalgamation of all these things, but I don't know. This guy seems like he's grasping at straws just a little bit.
And also, is it, many names for just the one same exact thing? Or is there all, you have to delineate between all of them? They're all their own distinct characters. And how would he know immediately what a pixie or an imp sounded like? An imp is like a little devil man, right?
Yeah, he's got a whole library of them because they come at him every 15 minutes, so he must know. But yeah, imp describes more like a little devil guy, like you said. Elementals are different things in different cultures, but usually just spirits that aren't really, vocal. So I don't know. I think he's got his wires crossed to just have his checklist of fairy things that he's seen on this island for this episode.
Right, and he has like three of the most Scottish people ever, like you said. Sinead O'Connor is in the group, and they're not really experiencing anything like it. They're getting the ghost screams, and they're recording other stuff. He's like, no, this is a brownie right here. This voice that you hear, he said.
Rest. Time.
Pie, also. I'm sure he said that. So now they're going to go out. They're going to do this. Before they head out on this epic outdoor elemental exposing. Chris says something here that I actually take some issue with.
These elementals have thrown everything at us to try and hinder our investigation at every venture. But now, we're coming to them.
Did we miss something? Because I haven't really left much out. What exactly had been hindered at this at all? It's like, I think one time they showed his flashlight or his torch. It didn't work right. It flickered a little. It's like, it's like, that's not hindering an investigation. Like, one of them getting stabbed might be, but not that.
Yeah, that seems kind of strange. Maybe a plot hook that didn't fully get written out for this episode.
Yeah, he said this could be no. Maybe that gives more. He's like, well, if I was gonna make it up, he's American. I can't even make him Scottish. He's the one American that's going very crazy in this. He's like, if I would make up something way, but you think I want to be cut dead? Saying,
"Are you a pixie?"
I said that on TV. They're gonna clip that. So of course it was.
This is a very minor amount of hindering for shows that we've seen before, I'd have to say.
Yeah, and they keep going because now they're outside, and we get a side of paranormal tech that goes way, way, way back. Something you can speak on, maybe. It is brought up that fairies, pixies, and sprites love music. Yes?
Definitely. Music, dancing, partying, reveling, all very big in the fairy world.
Yeah, they've done none of that. This is the last party in the world would happen in this castle if you were watching this show. It doesn't seem like that kind of vibe at all. He's very serious. But Chris, he pulls out all the stops here. And if you thought Paranormal Puck was cool, you're going to love the big guns that he whips out.
Brian and I thought that we should come back out here and try to communicate with these elementals. We've got a drum and whistle.
I've brought these two traditional Celtic instruments, as fairies are known to be fond of music, and hopefully this might just lure them out.
I put down this drum, but then also putting this flute here as an offering. I'm going to have this continue to... REM pod's going off?
REM pod.
Which one?
Mark.
REM pod.
REM pod's going off.
Pixie.
Behind us?
Yeah.
It's hard to believe, but remember, we only see 10% of our visual spectrum. It's 90% we don't see an electromagnetic field. So that leaves a big percentage that our eyes cannot detect.
Or only my eyes can. Just take my word for it. I've seen them. And look, this looked like gift shop drum and flute. There were like a tag on this thing. Because this castle, this is a tourist place. I think this is just like, it was like, if the Pixies, they've got all the access they want to this little flute and everything. It's probably sold at the castle. I'm pretty sure it was. So what do you think of that? Flute and drum, good offering. That's actually not too bad. He said he knew everything about elementals. He acted all surprised by this stuff, but that would be a good trap, right?
I think, gifts in general in, fairy lore are very popular. The offerings mostly usually of food or clothes and things like that. Music, fairies seem to supply their own music, but I don't know if just leaving it out for one would draw them to it. Maybe they would want to play it. That's my only guess. But they probably have a lot better ones than the gift shop one.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. It's like all these powerful creatures only do one thing, I guess, is play those little instruments. They've got centuries and centuries to carve them lovingly out of tiny pieces of wood. So, but
it's also probably too big for them to play.
Yeah, he doesn't even know what size of one. This could be a salamander, for all we know. We don't know what this is. So now the two main characters, Chris and Gail, they ditch the side characters to go find the fairies for themselves in the woods at night. And Chris gets very intimate talking to whatever the hell is out there.
I've seen pixies. I've seen gnomes. I've seen other forms of elementals that I don't know what they are. But I haven't met you yet. I want to. I have your voice on recording, but I want to see you. Oh, Jesus! Oh, Jesus! Oh, my God.
What was that?
Oh, Lord. Go to commercial. That became very, very intimate.
I have your voice on recording, but I want to see you.
I need to see you. I recorded you. It's like he switched from stalking that lady ghost immediately. Like he ran up where she was. Like, I've got this all figured out. Oh, wait. No, Pixies, they're out here.
This is taking a very bizarre turn.
Yeah, it's getting creepy. And in the beginning, I was promised more cursing. I was like thinking that this was going to be like a dirty show. The intro is very misleading. It comes all.
I have your voice on recording.
I want to see you.
But I want to see you.
Well, it's getting dirty, just in a different way.
Yeah, well, But thankfully, that last scare they got there, that was enough to get them to drop a few unbleeped bombs.
Oh, shit.
No, I don't want to stay here anymore.
Oh, my God.
What was that? What was that? Fuck that.
Whatever lies within this sacred forest doesn't want me digging any deeper. But I won't let it stop our investigation.
What was that?
Something got thrown at us. Something moved in the bushes. I felt a little aggression from that, and I'm going to walk towards it. I know that was you. Are you mad at us?
Don't leave me.
A couple of us are afraid. I'm not. Some of you said earlier at the Stones today you wanted us to leave, to get out of there. Who are you? Speak to me.
And Gale actually looks legit scared here. They are just like out in this field, but he is just hyper-focused on imp chatter. He's like, you will not frighten me. Throw rocks at me.
So what were they hindered by? Something in the bush? They saw something move?
It's
I couldn't
all,
even tell.
they're hindered by Chris. Just stop it every few minutes. Be like, oh, this one's getting me here.
I don't know. It seems like they need more of a physical threat to start making those things up. Like, on Ghost Adventures, there's a clear haunting that has sort of like, clear phenomenon that's attached to it. They talk about the story, then they start experiencing some of the things, There's a clearer narrative. Here, it just seems very nebulous as to what's going on and what they're experiencing.
They don't have there's not like a classic ghost. They were trying. Every time the tour guy started telling them what was actually going on, he's like, yeah, something scurried over there, and he runs away and he's like, it derails it at every turn. But he doesn't want another one of those I forget everything. Where am I moments? A common fairy skill that we've learned now. And again, I don't really agree with these. I think if you're gonna fairy hunt, if he wants to be that serious, there needs to be like some kind of fairy specific tech that they have. Yeah, I don't think all 80 ghost pucks, all the ghosts, you can't just use your regular ghost gear and be like, that was definitely an imp that is coming through here.
They need the anti-fairy glamour armor or helmet. They can make something goofy looking with wings on it or something.
Some different, more like a gifting station or like a little wooden thing that they make that, it seems like it'd have to be something more natural. I don't think tech would have any use for this at all. But this finally, it starts to amp up to a conclusion where they head back again to that fake kitchen and use that thing called the Frank's box. Another very classic paranormal thing. You've seen this one. You heard this. It's just that thing. It's like a wooden radio. It's like a spirit box. Anyway, and they allegedly hear a woman singing, which is weird for a radio, that a woman's voice singing might come out of it. But then Chris, he gets all jacked up when they hear this.
So you like to sing? Because I was staying out in the forest asking the elementals about music. We're on the same wavelength now. Is there anything we can do for you? There was the flute and the singing. Oh my God! Get the flute. Do you have the flute? They just played a flute. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. This is incredible.
Incredible stuff.
Oh my God, you love music. Okay, I'm gonna play the flute.
Oh, this is the most excitement a flute has ever conjured at all time.
So is that I guess, you could be picking up a radio station, but is that supposed to be the woman ghost or the elemental? I'm just kind of confused.
They've mixed the two now. Now you get both. You get the woman sings a little, and then the big news, of course, is
they just played a flute. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. This is incredible.
Absolutely amazing. So exciting. And it was barely even a couple of notes. It's like the radio were like, he's like, oh, the flute, it did it. I did it. And now it just becomes an all-out fairy flute off between Chris the Flute Fleming and a ghostly pixie on the radio.
In many, many years, can you replicate what I do? Okay? Oh my God. Okay? I can hear it. I can hear it. We're gonna go upstairs, and we have a present for you, okay? With music.
If this is fake, I'm gonna be mad. That flute playback, that was actually pretty impressive. It sounded like the notes.
I have to say, this is pretty quality. This is a good way to cap the episode if this is the end.
Yeah, and it's weird because they're doing this in the same room where he said.
Well, this is obviously all fake stuff, right?
So maybe he was like hinting at it earlier. But man, it had a great moment too. I haven't heard anyone Porky Pig like this in a long time.
I can hear it.
That would make me believe it even more that the Scottish guy is like, oh.
I can hear it.
And that was deserved. That wasn't like the first one. So now he is luring the flute fairy out of the fake kitchen, and he wants to, if he can get the flute fairy out and bring it to the bedroom where the rest of the team is, Gail and Dr. Evelyn Hollow. And where are they right now? It's not even really clear, or either completely forgettable because it wasn't even fair related. They're like, let's move over to their story with this thing. And like, I don't know. So you heard him. Now he tells them that he has a gift for him, a musical gift. I hope you're thinking maybe it's going to be like a music box. He's going to trap them for centuries. Or maybe like, how else would you stop some kind of elemental, like an amulet, right? Be a good trap for one.
Yeah, or maybe it's opposing element.
Oh, okay. Yes. If he would have thought of things like that, it would have been very interesting. It's like, I'm trying to, I don't know, I kind of want them trapped. I do like a show where it should just be fairy hunters, which would be much more interesting. So now he's going to bring in a musical gift. What exactly is a musical gift this guy can provide? Well, it's great. It's Gail playing the piano, which he obviously couldn't do in the woods. So I guess that's why they had to lure the elementals up there to the piano room of the castle. And his plan now is to have Gail play, and he and the crew will film to see if orbs or rods or fairy rods, if anything starts flying around. Seriously, they have more tech to use. Like, oh yeah, we had the ghost cameras. We've been screaming at fairies all the time. Let's play some music, and any rod we see is a fairy. So here we go.
All right, Gil. Come forward, spirits. I got some. 2 just came in.
So orbs.
3rd.
Another one.
4th. And there goes another one. Oh my God, this is hilarious. It flew in here, saw what we're doing, and it flew back out.
After a few chords on the ivories, I instantly feel the room change. Something is here with us, and I need to stop.
Now, this is rod chasing. He's just watching things flying in. He's tagging them immediately. These things are these spiritual things flying. He's like, oh, there's one, tagging 2, tagging 3. And it's an old castle. It looks like just dust kind of flying around because they don't really focus on it. You know, like these shows, you tell they're doing something a little shady, but they'll just show you like a shaky version of someone holding a pad, looking at the footage. It's like most shows will be like, all right, we're going to slow this down. This is great evidence. Like, no.
Well, it was convenient the piano was there. I was questioning. I'm like, did they bring one with them?
Well, I think that was the whole point. He was going to go all this trouble. He thinks that pianos were the key. He is like, oh, here's this little dual drum and flute. Why don't you come in the kitchen and play with us for a little while? And then I guess what it is now he's lured these things. And I don't know why a gift was even needed. Chris has been annoying them so much, but they do go one more time on the ivory, and you can hear Gail. Gail couldn't handle it. She played. He's like, all right, you're freaking me out. You're saying, these things are flying at my face. So now Dr. Evelyn Howell, who I actually think is cool, this is her time to shine. Plays like some John Carpenter music.
Another one just came in.
Oh, they're back.
Spirits, this is for you. We're doing this specifically for you. So please, join us. Show yourself. Will you show yourself, Spirit, now again through the door with this other camera filming you? Come towards us. Come to the music.
This haunting tune seems to have attracted even more elementals.
Spirit, will you fly up towards Evelyn? I just got something that just flew over the piano towards me.
We can only hope this musical offering will be enough to leave here on good terms.
Evelyn's playing, I will admit, was very nice. I did like Evelyn's playing a little better, but I don't know what the whole elementals are now have to do with giant grand pianos in the castles that they happen to have.
It is a little strange. I understand there's that musical connection with fairies, but usually it's the other end. It's humans being tricked, hearing music, in the forest and going to go investigate, not usually the other way around. So I guess that's kind of interesting. And I do kind of think it's interesting that he's like trying to close the circle, so to speak, with like, all right, we're trying to leave in peace. We know we we were really weird to you for the last couple hours, and we've been coaxing you to come and appear to us. So I guess that's kind of nice.
I think this makes me think that he is actually a true believer. He keeps going, no, this is for you. And like, we don't want to hear Gail or Dr. Evelyn Hollow play. We don't care. He's like, no, this is your special concert just for you. Because I know I've been the most annoying person who's ever been here. I've just been tormenting you. I've been impeding your good day. I blamed you for stuff. So, yeah, I think this is definitely, he is a true believer because he needs to clear his conscience of this thing. He's like, all right, I know the lore. He even says it at the beginning. He's like, you just got to be nice, and immediately not. And yeah, what you heard, that was the extent of this investigation. Just like all these shows, they stirred up a bunch of stuff and then split, right? They got right back on that boat, but not before solving the mystery once and for all, according to Chris at least.
This has been a monumental investigation. For the first time in my life, I believe I've communed with fairies, and we've finally gotten to the bottom of what is causing the haunting of Broderick Castle.
I thought he did it all the time.
So much happened today. I got a terrible fright down in the forest, which really knocked me for six, to be honest with you. But I think whatever's in here wants to stay here, and it's quite happy here.
And I know it's tough for people to believe that type of stuff exists, and maybe people are going to even make fun of it. I really don't care. Because until you're actually out here in the field, making contact, and then hearing the responses, you're not going to believe it. The one thing I've learned is you definitely have to respect the elemental world. There's more than enough stories that teach us that. So the one thing I want to tell you is when you're dealing with fairies or other elementals, you better be nice. If you're not, well, you're on your own.
Yeah, and you better not pout either. Like Chris is also, he's getting so ahead of the haters and hatresses. He's like, look, I know I'm going to get clowned. Who cares? All right. Fairies are out there. Also imps and pixies, gnomes, nymphs, salamanders. Come on. What am I missing? I love a good
What did they get to the bottom of? They really didn't get to the bottom of anything. Didn't they? Like, I do, like you said, I do think there is something genuine about them, and they're probably not bad people, but the story and the experience of the episode seems to be a little hackneyed. Like there wasn't as much direction or definitiveness with it, like where this narrative was going. But I don't know, maybe that's just something to say about being in that experience. Like maybe it is more just kind of mysterious, what happened to them or what they claim happened to them.
Oh, I love it. And you just forget about it and they go off to another Scottish adventure after
right.
Going through
Anyway, then we got
super intense thing. Like, whoo, we barely got on that one. It's great. And yeah, but I will call him out in the beginning. He's like, it's been my lifelong dream to commune with fairies. He gets there, he's like, that's definitely an imp's accent I'm sensing there. It's like, he's like, I never talked about it before. Man, that really knocked to my six or whatever she said here in that. Knocked me to my six. Come on now. And that's kind of it for Broderick Castle and the Isle of Arran. That is a great introduction to Chris Fleming. Man, that guy, he's a real weirdo, and he is one that I can get behind. But I'll say this, he is hard to search. There is a much more famous comedian with the same name as him, Chris Fleming. He plays Gale Waters. I don't know if anyone is aware. There was a YouTube sensation of like a suburban mom played by a comedian. I'll say Chris Fleming is better. I'll leave it at that. And the person who suggested this actually asked that we check out episode 3 of the show called Sterling Old Town Jail. But I chose the fairies and the imps. We had to go there. But I did want to check it out afterwards. And he was right. This is absolutely insane. I'm just going to play a couple of highlights here. This same team, a couple episodes later, they go to an old-timey castle jail in Scotland in search of alleged poltergeist activity. And Chris Fleming is immediately stabbed in the back in a ghostly way immediately. And then this happens while some lady is trying to talk to them about jail history.
Between 12 and 18 months old. And at that point, the physician for the jail, I
gotta walk out of here for a second. I'm sorry. Something just happened to me. That was not pleasant.
You okay?
I'm serious. I don't want to say this. It's embarrassing. That I just feel like something went up my asshole.
What the fuck? Well, imagine saying that on TV. Chris Fleming does not care. He is an open book. And this show is not a parody. This guy really said
that I just feel like something went up my asshole.
Maybe he came across the excremental.
Yeah, he's in his prison. He's all because that's the whole thing. They're like, this is like Poltergeist City, this whole thing, and he's to go there right away. It's like, all right. Do you want to hear more about what's happening inside Chris Fleming's behind?
Oh, absolutely. I want to see how this ramps up.
You're sick.
I'm not kidding you. That I just feel like something went up my asshole. I'm standing there and I feel something. What the fuck? Something, and it's What did you say earlier? That part of the room?
That was the venereal disease unit for the Scottish military.
So did they do what do they call it, proctology exams or whatever?
Yeah, they would have done all of those things.
That's exactly what I felt when they take the plastic glove out. That's what I just felt.
Wait, what? They take the glove off? What's he talking about? I'm not familiar with this experience that he is going through here. And it's funny, he is in a prison. He's like, did they do a proctology? Did they also do, I don't know, butt stuff around this prison, maybe? Butt?
It's the butt stuff wing. Wow, imagine being a ghost and you were so compelled to stay on Earth to continue giving proctology exams.
To every random American guy with a TV camera that comes in your face. And look, you can tell this has got to be embarrassing. Of course, this has to be. Again, it's like saying the fairy thing. This is so embarrassing. You wouldn't make this up. He realizes why would I want to say these things? Why would I ever say this? But he is having a very uncomfortable time with this particular spirit, and he's not the first.
Yeah, we have actually had reports before of other investigative teams who have had similar kind of experiences, either physically or through the EVPs. They've encountered quite sexually explicit language.
I can honestly say it's the first time I've had that happen, investigating.
Real life, yes.
I don't want to go in that room. Right now. The question is, why would something be doing that? Or I can't explain it. But I'm actually bothered by that. And embarrassed.
Do you want to take a bit of time out?
Yeah, I don't want to go back in there right now.
Okay.
I'm going to sit out here. You just continue.
Okay. We'll leave you to have a bit of time.
I'll stand, actually. Actually, I'm just going to stand just for now. Just, poor guy.
Man,
this is
what a wuss.
This is one of the worst ghostly assaults ever. I couldn't believe this. He's really taking a breather. He's like, no, I'm just going to stand.
He had a chance to do butt stuff with a ghost, and he wussed out of it.
He wasn't ready, and it was in front of everybody. He's like, I've been waiting my whole life. You just tease me? It's real? It's almost like one of those moments, like, if it is all fake for something, if that's the one thing that's real, it makes the entire show worth it. So I got to assume that's real, that he is for real.
That's one of the greatest clips I've ever heard. That's amazing.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I just feel like something went up my asshole.
I can hear it.
Whoa, I didn't mean to put those together. Wait. Hold on, let's see if we can do this.
I just feel like something went up my asshole.
They just played a flute. Oh my god, this is incredible.
All right, the possibilities are endless. That's great. And look, that was the most exciting part of that one. I can't top that kind of poltergeist activity. And I'll return. We'll return to Chris Fleming sometime in the future. But for now, oh man, I guess we got to put up a poll for this episode. What would the poll even be for this? Should it be, how do you prove fairies are real? Do you have any clues what the poll should be for this?
Man, how far would you go with a ghost?
How far would you go to catch a fairy or something? No, yeah. How far would you go with a ghost? That's actually, yes, that would be good. And one of them, of course, would be...
I just feel like something went up my asshole.
No one should go that far. I probably won't make it.
I'll give you some good answers.
Yeah, so you can go to unbelieverspodcast.com, go to vote on that. And man, great show. Great new character, Chris Fleming. What do you think overall coming out of this? You believe her now?
I definitely want to hear more. I'm hungry for more. I'm hungry to see what other fairies and fairy beings he's going to encounter in his other episodes. But yeah, and some great clips, some good funny moments. I think all around A+.
Yeah, I think he's nuts. I hope he does every show. He needs to have more stuff. I know there's another thing he did, a spinoff called Haunted Ireland, which maybe we should have covered that for this. But no matter. That's it. Let's get off this rock for now. that first Scottish song. I remember Franz Ferdinand is Scottish. And that's an element that counts, right? Yeah.
Definitely.
Ooh, elementals, man. This is fun. I feel like they don't get covered enough in fun ways. And I know you've covered them quite a bit on your show. Because, of course, I didn't even say before, but you have a show. Please say the name of your show.
It's kind of just a little pet project, but obviously I was inspired by you, Russ, to kind of do little research topics. I always loved writing in school, and I think this is my little vehicle. Started doing paranormal stuff. Now we've kind of done more like folklore. It's called Are You Afraid of D's, which is a terrible joke name that I'm too lazy to change. But I do episodes infrequently because work is so busy. But I did extensive deep dives on fairy lore for 3 episodes. We did one completely on gnomes, which was inspired by me wanting to research David the Gnome, the great 90s show that I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with. Then I did just one on all fairy lore and the Tuatha De Danann, which is the ancestor race that Irish folklore says is the progenitor beings that eventually became the fairies. Did a whole itemized list of fairies, and then I did a fairy monsters and animals episode, because there's also a whole world of different fairy animals and monsters that exist out there as well. So a lot of books reading, a lot of YouTube video watching. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and definitely check it out. And I will say too, I was also reading. You sent me some papers. You sent me like some of the scripts, and I was hoping you would follow along when I was trying to list all the ones. You have some great lists. You name all of the more obscure ones. I think salamanders was as deep as I got. I was looking for other ones. I was like, no, I mean actual like elementals. Like no, and the fact that mermaids and all those other things. Like there's so many things accompanying elementals more than you think.
Yeah, it's really crazy. Elementals go back to Greek lore. With, like you mentioned, salamanders, sylphs, undines, mermaids, and even
Sirens.
further.
Those are the ones I always forget about. Things like that.
Yeah, a lot of those are just they're considered part of the fairy kingdom, and the lore is the cool thing about fairies is just that it's every culture has some sort of lore about fairies in them. And I just think that's really, I don't know, to me, that leads a lot of credence to the universalness of it, and that phenomenon, whether they're trickster spirits or, something else. But that always fascinated me.
Yeah, I always like that everyone has a unique set of rules or that little trick that you can get them with. Like leave this many pieces of salt on a single die, and you can do this. I think a great show for Chris Fleming and maybe me and you will go along. It will be called Rule Busters or Rule Breaker, Fairy Rule Busters or something, where we go around the world, every unique fairy lore, we break everything, we do everything we can to be the worst and most annoying. The one thing you'll never hear on the show is
we're going to do our best not to annoy you.
Yeah.
We're going to do our best to annoy you. It's like Chris. Or maybe we will say that. It would just be the most annoying, much like Chris was. So look for that coming soon. And I'm going to do something right here. I don't even know if I have any music that I'm going to do this with. Let's see. All right, so we're going to try a different segment here. I guess it's kind of like the voicemail, kind of not. This would be, I guess we'll call this Tales from the Unbelievers. And I'm going to make a call here. Let me get some dialing music.
You don't need to pick up a gun to fight for something.
All right, we're going to call somebody.
You need to pick up your mouth. You need to pick up your brain and read a book.
The year was 1979. I was young back then.
Hello. Is this Steven?
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
Hello. Hi. Welcome to the Unbelievers podcast. Of course, this is Russ. I am here with Tyler. Say hi.
Hey, Steven.
Hey.
What's up?
Not too much. It snowed here in Idaho, so, one of them days. So other than that, pretty good.
Okay. You say it snowed there? Come in.
Yeah, it snowed. It's not Hawaii, and there's no Art Bell to call into, but we're getting snow in Idaho. So big news.
Well, I'm glad we got in touch with you, and we just finished recording about Haunted Scotland and all the great attributes of Chris Fleming and everything. We love him, and you actually suggested that. But you also have your own thing going on for our Tales from the Unbelievers. You have a ghost story for us, yes?
Yeah, absolutely. So things started, we moved into our house maybe 7 years ago or something. The house was pretty new at the time, 2 years old. So I didn't really think much of anything. I just kind of started with these weird feelings being washed, stuff like that. But nothing really out of the ordinary. The cat would stare through, things like that. Cats do that. That's no big deal. And then one day, the first thing I remember happening is I went to work, and my wife gave me a call, and she's like, "Hey, did you come back? Did you forget something at home or something?" I said, "No, I'm still on the way. I'm not home." She's like, "Well, I swear I heard footsteps in our hallway, and it looked like I saw like a shadow pass under the door." And I was like, "Whoa, hold on." Immediately like, you think the worst. Like, did I leave the garage door open and somebody got in the house? So I turned around, raced back home. I wasn't very far. And I checked the whole house top to bottom. The garage door was closed. All the doors were locked. The windows were all closed. Nobody was there. It was kind of weird, but we both just thought maybe she was hearing things. Nothing, no big deal. Like, it didn't put any weird feelings on it. It was just an odd, something she must have dreamt up, whatever. But then, with the big one night I was sleeping. I woke up and I got that feeling again. I had that feeling someone was watching me. I wake up, and at the foot of our bed is this figure with long dark hair, and it's looking at my wife and I. But my wife has long dark hair herself, so I thought maybe she's like, coming out of the bathroom or something, going back to bed. But I realized that she was in bed with me, so I jumped out of bed real fast. I checked the house top to bottom again, so it looked like a person. So I thought there was somebody in our house again. I checked everywhere, all the closets, like the pantry, completely logical stuff, but everything, same thing. The windows were all good, doors were locked, no problem. So I thought, well, it's just something I was just dreaming. I go back to bed. As soon as I lay down, my watch just like bolts upright, and she asked me, "Hey, are you okay?" So I thought maybe she had just woken up. I like disturbed her when I got out of bed, and I said, "Yeah, no, I'm fine." And then she turned her head. She's still asleep, and she looked at where I saw that figure, and she says, "Well, is she okay?" And then she falls back down to sleep, completely out cold. And that scared the shit out of me. The next morning, it was
so
crazy.
This is the cold open to your life in this house. I'm assuming now that you've had that is, and okay. So let's, first off, you said it looked just like, is this like a doppelganger thing? Was it that close or no?
No, it was just the hair was similar. Like my wife has long dark hair. This thing, whatever it was, had long dark hair. And in the dark, I couldn't even tell if it was a woman. It just looked like a figure. But then my wife, when she looked at where we're standing, referred to it as she. Is she okay? So I scared the shit out of me. I was still in my pants for sure.
Did she also ask her,
"Are you a pixie?"
Because that could have been.
She should have. Pretty good. No, but I asked her about it the next morning. She was like, I didn't wake up in the middle. I didn't say anything. But my wife is like, she's had a history of sleep talking. Like, sometimes she would wake up in the middle of the night and be like, "Hey, they're doing experiments on gorillas in the basement." So I still didn't really think it was like anything super weird was going on. I just thought I had a bad dream. I disturbed her. She said something wacky in her sleep.
All right, she wakes up, goes,
"Rest, tie, crossed, loose, cup."
Yes, pie. I've got to go get that pie.
It's like, I didn't think there was, who thinks they have a ghost in their house or whatever.
And how old is this house, though? So this is right after you moved in, pretty shortly after, right when this happened. How old is this house? Like a super old, like a creepy castle level house, or new?
It was like
new
2 years old when we moved in. It's like brand new. It was like, there was like the furthest thing from my mind that there'd be anything going on in here. But, I mean, my wife does collect antique trunks, and I've always said, hey, one of these days we're going to buy one of these things and get a little more than we bargained for. So I don't know. Maybe that's what.
Did you say antique trunks?
I did.
No, you got the Dybbuk box.
Oh God, no, no! These things are like old Dybbuk box, and we are so fucked. We gotta get out of here. But no, these things are like steamer trunks, like from like the 1910s and stuff, pretty old things. But yeah.
All right, and I got to ask you. So hold on though, but you are an unbeliever. I got to ask you: now that there is an item involved, are you telling the truth? Or are you trying to build up some kind of fake story to sell this to Zach Baggins, who's going to be even more rich when he sells the story of the murderous ghost adventure wife and her dealings in prison?
Poor Aaron. Aaron getting sideswiped. I mean, he can't catch a break. That poor guy. No, nothing like that.
All right. I don't want to see this thing up on eBay with PP like.
You believe it? I'm sold. Wow. Okay.
I don't even know. If it was one of those things, I couldn't even narrow it down. I just know that the house isn't very old, so like, it must be something, but I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if it's really anything, but.
Okay, and you still live there though, right? Has anything happened like in the last couple of years still?
Oh yeah. So a few months after that, our niece came over and stayed the night, and it was the first time staying the night in our house, and she was 7 at the time or something. So we had her sleep in the guest bedroom. The next morning we just asked like normal, at breakfast, like, hey, yeah, just sleep, whatever. And she said, I slept pretty good, but why did you, she asked my wife, why did you come check on me in the middle of the night? My wife was like, I didn't do that. I clocked down, man. I slept the whole night, which is true. Every time she stirs, I wake up. But and my niece was like, yeah, you did. You were in the room. I felt your hair on my face, and I woke up and I saw you.
Wait, whoa. She said she felt its hair on her face, so your wife doesn't go check in and dunk her hair on your niece's face?
That's not, we're going to incorporate that in our routine, but typically, no, that hasn't been a normal thing she does, checking up on her niece. But
okay, so do you tell the niece or what? Do you go, oh yeah, we checked on you, that's fine, everything? No, that was us. You gotta fake it.
No, I'm a straight shooter. We told her that I'd seen something a few months before, and I was like, hey kid, gotta be honest with you, might be a ghost in here. If you see that long-haired woman, if you saw something, I saw something. So you're not going crazy. It's not, you're gonna get stopped. It's yeah, it could be a ghost.
Yeah, only the uncle's gonna tell the kid. That actually could be. That's probably a ghost that touched you. Like your parents will just lie and protect the kid and be like, no, you're fine. You're not being stalked in the night by the Grudge. You're fine.
I know that now. Well, I know that now, but it didn't become apparent until 3 years later or something like that. I needed your advice earlier, is what I'm trying to say. I might have messed that one up. Whoops.
All right.
Yeah, so a couple more things kept going on. Like 6 months after that or something like that, half a year, my wife had a friend who was going through like a really tough time in her marriage. And my wife offered like, hey, if you need to get out of that situation, you're welcome to stay in our house.
I have a haunted room with a creepy ghost.
It's going to be very exciting for you. Guaranteed to take your mind off of whatever's going on. But yeah, that situation deteriorated pretty quickly. So we had to like rush and pick up her stuff and move her into our house. And she moved into the guest bedroom. And the first night she was there, she's like, hey guys, I don't want to weird you guys out or anything, but I was asleep. I was locking my door. I was like, why would that weird me out? I'm not going to come to your room and check if your door's locked. I'm not a freak, a weirdo. So the next morning, same thing at breakfast, like, hey, how'd you sleep? How'd it go? Whatever. And she's like, it's good. But she asked my wife, she's like, hey, why did you come into my room already? Like, why did you check up on me? I was fine. That's kind of weird. And we're like, don't you lock your door at night? She's like, oh, well, I could have sworn I woke up. I saw you standing at the foot of my bed. Yeah. I said stuff, and then I rolled over and went back to sleep. And then we were like, oh shit, there's something that. The third time we're like, okay, something's going on.
So you basically have a few options at this point, though. So you can either kind of, you got this trunk. Don't sell the trunk. You can either, start saying yes, try to get one of those shows to come to your house and do a whole investigation, or you obviously listen to the show and you probably know already the things you're supposed to do if you think your house is haunted, clearings and rubbings and things like that.
Yeah, we did. So there was a couple more incidents, and like we didn't do anything. But it was just kind of freaking us out. Like I didn't feel threatened, but we felt threatened. It was just weird. And like she's like, poke her head in, scare the shit out of you, said bye. That's fine. That's fun. But one time, I had a shoulder surgery, so I had to sleep in the living room in a chair for a while. My wife was alone in our bedroom, and she was woken up in the middle of the night, looking into our walk-in closet, and she saw what she thought was a little boy sitting in the closet. And she thought, well, I must be seeing, I must be dreaming. So she just, goes back to sleep and then rolls over and looks and wakes up again, the boy standing at the foot of the bed. And that she felt, from that presence, she did feel like malice. Something, it was definitely different than the woman. So she jumped out of bed and she moved stuff on the couch until I could, get out of there. Until I was good enough to go back in the bed. After that one, we did do a cleansing to ask the child to leave, because that one, that feeling was so distinctly different from anything else she's felt, and I didn't want to
Okay, that makes sense. That once you feel like the malicious thing, I've been in houses where we thought things were going on, but never anything where we get to that point where like, all right, we need to really clear it. This thing's out of control. So I guess
Right.
going to it does that. All right, well, you're still there now. Are you still there now? Yes, you are. Okay,
We're still here now. We had one more kind of thing that happened. Like we had a baby girl in the end of January, so a couple of months ago.
And we got a brand new nursery. We've been waiting to use the spare room of doom.
Well, that is my son's bedroom, but it'll build character for him. But the first night we bring our daughter home, my son, he's only 3, Halloween birthday, just like your son, so it's pretty cool. But he comes into our room almost every night, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. He'll come to our room. So the first night we're back home with our daughter.
It's like George Norrie's over. I'm bored now. I'm going to come talk to you. Ghost is over. I've been enthralled with Norrie head on this great doctor. It was awesome.
So he comes into the bed. He lays down with me. He's like, in his toddler speak. He's like, "Hey, Dad, why is her watching baby?" And I thought, he's talking about my wife. I said, that's our job. As your mom and your dad, we're supposed to watch over you guys, protect you and stuff like that. And my son said, "No, Dad, I'm not Mama, her." And he points to the same spot where I'd seen that ghost years before.
So it's the spot. So your 3-year-old is recognizing the ghost in there, and the ghost is watching over your young baby. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm no paranormal expert. I don't know, but get out, run, take your baby, get out of there.
Oh man, I don't know. She hasn't bothered really anybody. Like I said, she's like wants to see what's up. A new person in the house pokes her head in, says hello, and that's about it. I mean, that incident, this last one, it'd been 2 years or something since something had happened.
Yeah, but then it pops out and it's like.
If those dudes show up, then we got to go.
They're not doing much. They pitch them a ghost show. They're not doing much. They'll come out there.
They'll solve it. They'll crack this
They're cold as ice. All right, so I am messing around, but I do hope you guys are doing okay. This is a great story. I happen to believe you more than Chris Fleming and anything like that. So I appreciate you, appreciate your story, and thanks for actually suggesting the thing we did tonight, which came out really fun.
Oh man, that show is amazing. It's unbelievable. Solid gold.
Yeah, and I did take your advice. I listened to episode 3, so thank you so much for adding this to the soundboard forever.
That I just feel like something went up my asshole.
All right, with that, I'm gonna let you go. Thanks so much, Steven. I'll play you out. I guess we have
You don't need to pick
Tales.
up a gun to fight for something.
Tales from the Unbelievers.
You need to pick up your mouth.
Yep.
It's now ended.
You need to pick up your brain.
Now
and
go
read a
pick up
book.
your brain and raise a child.
The year was
Goodbye.
1979. I was young back then and had plenty of time. Was an engineer for the government. Top secret projects, I was loving it. Then one day they sent me to a
So no, play that song. We want to hear that more than you. It's like, okay, all right. Here we go. New segment there with our buddy Steven. Very cool ghost story. But we got to get to something else, and it's everyone's third favorite segment. What's that?
I get to say it. Poll results.
This week's poll, what celebrity would you assault with paranormal questions? And the choices were Samuel L. Jackson, Britney Spears, Will Smith, Anna Taylor-Joy. I'm going to ask you, Tyler Ventura, what do you think the Unbelievers said?
Boy, I don't know. For some reason, I feel like Anna Taylor-Joy has seen something. I don't know if it's because she's been in so many paranormal movies. I feel like she's got something to say.
Oof, sorry. No, she only came in with like 6% of the vote.
No!
So, but with 50% of the vote, Samuel L. Jackson is who people... that is the person that people want to assault with paranormal questions. But of course... there are others. Who would you assault with paranormal questions? I bet Gary Busey could tell us what the hell we're supposed to do if we're wandering around the world not knowing what the hell we are. Signed, Whooping Hooper, wandering around the world. Man, I haven't heard that in a while. Where have those guys been? I think they've been busy.
What the hell else we gonna do? Wander around the world the rest of our life not knowing who the hell we are?
Thank you so much, Whooping Hooper there. What celebrity would you Assault with Paranormal Questions. Where's the archive, Russell? From Crypto Keto. Where's the archive? Email me. I'll give you the archives. I can find the archives for you. Thank you, Crypto Cito. Who would you want to assault with paranormal questions? Mr. Bigfoot. Have you ever had a paranormal encounter? Bigfoot. This is like a little play. Okay. Bigfoot. I was taking a walk in the woods and I saw, and I kid you not, I saw the cryptid Samuel L. Jackson, Britney Spears, Will Smith, and Anna Taylor-Joy doing the old nasty. I wet and filled my pants. I mean, who does that, man? Don't believe me? And I'll personally come to your house, kick your ass. I know what I saw. Signed, Destin Starr. Man, yes, Destin Starr taking this one to the limits. He had so many clips in there. Oh, let's see. What do we have here? One of my favorite ones. Where was the old nasty?
The old nasty.
What was that?
Do the old nasty.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Destin Starr. You had a bunch of great ones in there. What celebrity would you assault with paranormal questions? Aaron from Ghost Adventures had a hit put on him from his wife. My money is that SOB Baggins is behind this. XOXO, Doodoo Bin Laden. Thank you, Doodoo Bin Laden, for coming in.
Doodoo, come on, really?
Staying very topical. Staying very topical with the bag and stuff. I love that. Thank you so much. What celebrity would you assault with paranormal questions? Dick's out for meatloaf. Peter McCarthy from Host Quotes. Okay, this is Host Quotes. Dick's out for meatloaf. Pete McCarthy. Yes, that was a Host Quote from that episode. Thank you so much. Well, thank you, Host Quotes, as always. I can't quote it. I didn't pull Pete saying Dick's out for meatloaf. And it's pretty funny. Pretty good, though. What celebrity would you assault with paranormal questions? It's got to be Will Smith. I want to see what he says about Ghosts and Chris Rock, because weren't those two in some kind of mortal conflict? Oh, you're right. They were kind of in mortal conflict, weren't they? That great slap we saw at the Oscars.
Keep my wife's name out of your mouth. That one.
Oh, wait. And I had this for you earlier. Someone said Baggins. I have this.
You didn't toot, did you? No.
That was earlier for the Baggins one. Sorry about that, because we are doing Doodoo Bin Laden here. And oh, no, sorry. This one's Thin. I'm sorry. This was from Thinler's List. Talking about Will Smith.
We have the top secret information. I just can't share it. You don't think?
Sometimes that's so hard to find. Brian originally named that clip Will Smith Coming. It's so hard to find. Thank you.
What? Yeah.
Doodoo Bin Laden for reminding me of that. And we have to have Dick's out for meatloaf. And then Thinler's List with the mortal conflict, which I believe since we just did our buddy, I think I have that mortal conflict right here. Where is that?
And they were in some kind of mortal conflict.
Be throwing up and filling my pants.
Yes, thank you so much. Thinler's List, we found it. What celebrity would you assault with paranormal questions? Robert Stack, so he could help find my old dad. He's got some serious aboriginal energy. From Scared of My Dad guy. Okay. You think Robert Stack's the one who asked the paranormal questions? I guess not. He just hosts. You can ask him stuff. If he was around. Rest in peace. Thank you, Scared of My Dad guy. What celebrity would you assault with paranormal questions? Richard C. Hoagland. Where did 19.5 degrees come from? From Pants Filler. All right. Pants Filler? I don't know what you're referencing here, but you...
Be throwing up and filling my pants.
So maybe Tyler, help me with this.
No,
Richard C. Hoagland, where did 19.5 degrees come from? It's a mystery. We'll never figure it out. Thank you, Pants Filler. What celebrity would you assault with paranormal questions? Jesse Ventura might have some interesting things to say, but after his Manimal episode, he kind of likes to be a secret. Now go on, get. All right. You're right. Jesse Ventura, he doesn't do anything anymore. But thank you so much to Golden Rice. Check this out.
Interview me about Golden Rice.
There you go, Golden Rice. But yeah, Jesse Ventura, he likes to be kind of like a secret.
Russ, I have your answer unless you don't want to backtrack.
Oh, please tell me. Richard C. Hoagland, 19.5. What does that mean?
It is 19.5 degrees is an angle that's been found significant by researchers encoded in the structures in Cydonia, which is the ones that he was famous for discovering on Mars. The faces on Mars, if you remember.
Whoa. Yeah, I do. And I got to say...
It's genuinely made me really sad now. I really wanted to believe it too.
Oh. All right. Yeah, there you go. Thank you so much, Golden Rice. What celebrity would you want to assault with paranormal questions? Jose Escamilla, without a doubt. I was promised more on rods, and I want my rods. You violate the code of honor when you don't deliver with rods. Robs. Sign the Rebob. Yes, I know Rebob. And here
There's rods on your tape.
Thank you, Rebob. And the Art Bell one is I know I've got but you're gonna personally come to my the code of honor. Code of honor.
You violate the code of honor when you do that.
And I'll try not to. I always promise there will be more on rods. There usually is, and there will be more. There is more coming. Thank you so much, the Rebob. What celebrity would you assault with paranormal questions? I would assault Jesse Ventura. Whoa, he's getting multiple votes here. I need to know how to turn my radio on to see a reptilian. Oh, do you remember? That's from Unbelievable Penguin. That's a deep cut. That's a really good one. Do you remember that one? The radio reptilians?
Unbelievable Penguin.
How do I turn the radio on and see a reptilian?
Great one. Yeah. Good job, Unbelievable Penguin. And final one for this evening. What celebrity would you assault with paranormal questions? I'd skip the Adele question and ask any celebrity if P.P. Warren is the grassy butthole of the paranormal. And that is from MQ Ultra coming in with that one. I think he's referencing this here.
This is big. Yeah. This is like the grassy knoll of the paranormal.
But he's got PP as grassy butthole. I got so many PP ones like...
Were you born with a jacket on and gadgets in your hand?
No, wait, that wasn't even him. That was just someone clowning him. That's fine. That'll work out too. Thank you so much, MQ Ultra. So many good ones tonight. There's a lot tonight. I'll go over a few I liked a lot. I definitely liked Whooping Hooper. I bet Gary Busey could tell us what the hell we're supposed to do for wandering around the world, not knowing who the hell we are. I like that one a lot. We had Dudu Bin Laden with Aaron from Ghost Adventures had a hit put on him from his wife. He has that SOS bag is behind it. Just staying topical. I love that. Dicks Out for Meatloaf from Host Quotes was pretty good. We had Richard C. Hoagland. Where did 19.5 degrees come from for Pants Filler? Pants Filler just wants to know where did he even get that number? Any that stood out to you, Tyler?
I don't know. Dicks Out for Meatloaf is just funny, but that would get my initial vote.
Yeah, I'd skip the Adele's question and ask a celebrity if PP is the grassy butthole of the paranormal. Unbelievable Penguin, I would assault Jesse Ventura. I need to know how to turn my radio on to see a reptilian. That was very good. All right. We got to pick one, and it comes. You're first on. This is your first one on, and don't forget Destin Starr with Mr. Bigfoot. If you ever had a paranormal encounter, I was taking a walk in the woods, and I saw a kid, and I kid you not that I saw the cryptid Samuel L. Jackson, Britney Spears, Will Smith, and Anna Taylor-Joy doing the old nasty, and then he does a bunch of clips after that. Pretty good. I'm gonna leave it up to you, Tyler Ventura. Who do you think won this week's poll?
What was the Art Bell one again?
Which one? Let's see. There's a couple. Yeah, there was a good Art Bell one. Let's see. The Jose Escamilla, without a doubt. I was promised more on rods. I want my rods. You violate the code of honor when you don't deliver with rods. Is that the one?
Yeah, no, I still like the. I'm sorry. The Dicks Out for Meatloaf just really hit my funny bone.
All right. Well, congratulations. Host Quotes with Dicks Out for Meatloaf, Pete McCarthy. Congratulations. You earned it. You're always there and you never catch one. Host Quotes. And we always don't want to vote for any of ourselves. So, and Tyler don't know. Tyler wasn't here. He can vote for that. Congratulations, Host Quotes. You just won this week's poll results. All right, we come to the end of the program. But before we go, Tyler Ventura, do you have anything you would like to say or plug?
No, just thank you so much for having me on. It was a great episode.
It was a lot of fun having you here. It was great. Everybody go plug your show. Come on. Are you, please.
Give Are You Afraid of D's a listen. Listen to some of the newer episodes because they're not as cringy. I've gotten a lot better at talking, believe it or not. And if you ever have a good, scary story, something funny that happened to you with a scary story, shoot it my way too. I do those like once a year. I'll do a roundup of scary stories just from my friends. So
there you go. Go check it out, please. And thank you so much again for being on. This was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun having you on, Tyler.
Oh, me too.
This is great. And that's it. And I'll just plug this to Patreon as always. That's the only way you can support the show. That's all we do. We don't do ads or anything like that. That's it. Just patreon.com/Unbelievers Podcast. The Unbelievers Podcast host today were Tyler Ventura and me, Russ Ryan. Our editor is Issa YZ. You join our Patreon by going to patreon.com/Unbelievers Podcast. You can follow the show on Twitter at Unbelievers Pod, Instagram at Unbelievers Podcast. Facebook group is the Unbelievable Podcast Network. Our music advisor is Pandora3373. Our official composer and theme song creator is Unbeliever A.A. Ron, a.k.a. Aaron Schilb. Follow him on Instagram, the Aaron Schilb. Our official graphic designer and card maker who designed our logo, or at least our old one, is Raymond Roel. Check him out at Harley Warren Art on Twitter. Our official Guardian of the Bench is Kraken Stack. Our official Alien Bopper is Nunchuck Bop. And from Patreon, our official Reptilian at the post office is Postal Patty. Our official extraterrestrial woman waiting for hashtag rubbing heads to trends is Crescent Moon. Our official Reverend Doctor of the podcast is the non-Newtonian Druid. Our official Big Island Friendly Paranormal Weatherman is Green Finhawk. Our official Jeffrey Hartner. Our official Baby Yoda publicist is Pam D. Our official Unbelievers listening between the stations for a message from Art Bell is Scott E. Our official Unbeliever Raising Puckwudgies is Joe Filler. Official Madman is Unbeliever Adam. Our official Unbeliever Time Traveler is Taylor Nelson. Official Ghost Hunter is Amelia Child and ghost hunting in New England. Our official senior European correspondent is Kay Mill of the I Don't Know podcast. Our official art curator is Isis Haynes. Our official Rod is Rod Begliomini, and our officials, Unbelievers Anita titles are always there. And this week's Unbeliever focus is Spectre Knight on Instagram, who is a big fan of the audio version of the show, but feels like they're missing out on something. Maybe something visual, which must be why they keep messaging me saying,
I have your voice in recording, but I want to see you.
Oh, chilling. Okay, good night.
Good night.
Are you a pixie?
Okay. And clear and done.
Discontinue! Discontinue!